Hello, today I'm going to do a video on PEX pipe. I made a previous video on joining PEX pipe 5 different ways, but I decided to make a video on the pipe itself and the pros and cons and the cost related to different systems. And I've had some new experiences with it over the last few years. I'll start out with this Viega system, and it's pretty straightforward. When it came out, I was the biggest fan of it. Just a matter of sliding the brass sleeve on. You'd pump up the pipe, slide it on, pull the sleeve, compressing the pipe into the T. Great system. So I instantly became a fan because it was like you were guaranteed there was no leaks. Now this T and 3 sleeves comes to around $9. And if you're trying to get into putting in PEX pipe, well, $9 a T, you might as well head for the back to copper, because you can get a 1/2 inch T for under $1. And I know your copper pipe is $20 a length or so, but if you're going to pay $9 for a T, it's not going to take too long for that to compare to the copper. Here's another system, Wirsbo. It is probably one of the most popular ones out there. It first came out, I was pretty amazed by it. Very simple. Pump up your sleeve, and the reason you pump it up is it makes it easier to go over the pipe. Then you put your tool in there, you pump up the sleeve and the pipe, slide it on the T, that's it, walk away. You can see all these fittings have a little barbed end or a few barbed ends on them. This T would cost about $2 with your sleeves. So that's a much cheaper system than the Viega. Viega made a system. It works very simple. It's just a matter of taking the pipe, and in here there's a small hole that you see that tells you that your pipe is into the sleeve. Their fittings are made of bronze. There's no lead in them. It's just a matter of taking your crimp tool, you crimp the stainless steel band down. The nice thing I do like about Viega is it's all one piece, and that is you're not chasing sleeves or dropping sleeves or anything like that. It's a pretty cool system. A T like that's around $4 to $5 for Viega. The hardware stores, these are probably the most popular ones out there now. This is a pinch clamp. It's a stainless steel clamp. You slide your fitting in, put your ring on, give it a squeeze, and it clamps right down on the pipe. This is a crimp system, and I don't have the tool. My buddy Fritz, he sent me an email and was showing me when he was going to buy. I'll give you his address later on. And there's a video that he made as well. He hooked up a nice machine to his fridge, and it worked out excellent for him. It's just a matter of sliding your fitting in and taking the crimp tool. It's about, I'd say, 15 inches long. The price of the tool itself, I know the one that Fritz had was $68. It was a shark bite. The one at Home Depot was $100, and it was crimp right. The system works very well, and it is very popular. The other thing is the other thing was the T itself. You're probably looking for the T and the sleeves in the vicinity of $3 by the time, or $3.25 by the time the tax is on there. But it is very, very popular. Probably the most popular system out there is the crimp and the I call it the clinch, but they call it pinch system. You can also join PEX pipe with shark bite fittings or gator fittings. They work very well on them as well. But this is more of a mechanical joint than the shark bite. When I first got involved in the trade, this was the very first pipe that I used. It was called Kitech, and something that almost every PEX that I've come across has the footage on it. It'll tell you how much feet that you use and the temperature as far as your rating goes. The higher your temperature, the lower the pressure as far as the pipe withstanding pressure. So that's just something to keep in mind. And I think Wirsbo, for example, is 280 degrees. Here's a piece of, what is this a piece of here? That's a piece of PEX. Yeah, so 280 degrees, 80 psi, and that's Wirsbo. And they're all marked, they're all stamped, the majority of them, and so is the footage as far as how many feet you have left or how many feet you've used. So the Kitech, they ended up taking it off the market because it was sort of a two-part deal. They had aluminum shield in between two layers of the material, and they had a breakdown, is what I was told. I haven't seen it myself, but this is all I was told, is that they had a breakdown and the pipe actually on the inside collapsed. So it was taken off the market, and that was the end of it. So if you do come across this and you actually have to get a fitting for it, it's going to be almost impossible, although a shark bite fitting will work on it if you're in a jam. That's about the only thing that's going to help you out. Viega, they must have checked out Kitech because they put a shield on theirs. The only thing different that they did with theirs, they have a full piece of PEX pipe. Then they put the shield on, and there's an O2 barrier over it. So how it works is you have a tool that actually shaves the O2 barrier off and the aluminum shield, allowing you just to have a regular size piece of Viega. It'll be the exact same size as that. As you can see, the two of them are slightly different in size. So once you peel this off, the black tubing in there is the same size as the blue. The nice part that I do like about this is if you bend it, there's a little bit of spring in it, but it'll stay pretty well in any position that you put it. The Kitech did the exact same thing, and that comes in handy sometimes, believe it or not. Wirsbo, the Wirsbo and Reha are classified as PEX A. PEX B and C are all rated, I guess, at just different manufacturing companies, I guess you could say. They do a few different things, and it turns the PEX, the final product is a little different. PEX A, for example, is, let's just take a piece of Aqua PEX. This is Wirsbo, and you can tell it's blue lettering on it, Wirsbo. There it is, 280 degrees, 80 psi. This is PEX. This has an oxygen barrier, and it has black lettering on it, and that's used for heating. The blue is used for potable water. It's that simple. So PEX A, you can take and actually bend it back and forth. And I could actually take a heat gun, and my next video will be of this. I'll take a heat gun and I'll bring this back to its original shape. So if you're looking at that right now, next time you see it, I'll have a heat gun on it, and we'll see what happens. This is PEX B. Okay, I've done one bend on it. And PEX B, when you're doing this, it almost feels a little more brittle than the other. There's just a different process in the extrusion of it, and anyway, that's what happens to the PEX B. The Wirsbo on the Reha, you can use outdoors in a building, and if it freezes, you don't have to worry about the pipe splitting. That's a bonus side of the PEX A. But the B and C, you can't allow that to happen. Let's see where I'm at now. The Reha comes well covered. They show you the O2 barrier, or no O2 barrier, and O2 barriers for heating. They put that on there so no oxygen will get into the system. And this is a piece of Reha here, has the O2 barrier on it, and it's just on the outside of the pipe, and it just allows no oxygen to actually penetrate to get into the system, which is going to cause corrosion. And Reha clearly states what their PEX pipe can withstand as far as exposure goes. They're clear, which I consider this would be a piece of clear Reha. That's good for 15 days exposure. They're white, which would be right here. This is good for 30, and this color, which is very common now, red and blue, is good for a year. And they clearly state that try and keep it to the sun. The reason that they do give it sun protection, even 15 days or so, is to, in case you have it in the back of your van and you're just getting sunlight on it, there has to be some protection there to cover the pipe. Wirsbo, on the other hand, they have a fairly simple UV light. Do not expose to UV light for more than 30 days. The other thing they have is do not use enclosed loop systems. So this is potable water, where with a barrier, that's what you would use. You would use it on a closed loop system, which would be a heating system. I made a video of this when I first seen it there. It was still installed at the time. I've since replaced it. I don't know if you can actually see the cracks that are in there. This pipe was exposed to direct fluorescent lights for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and there's a number of cracks in it. There was a number of pinholes in it. What they ended up doing, they put some rubber bands and some clamps just to get them through. Since replaced it all with the 1 year protection, and I insulated it as well. That's something to keep in mind if you are running it near fluorescent lights. It's not going to hurt to put some insulation on it, and that's going to protect it that much more. But these, where this pipe was, the lights were on for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when this was installed, it actually looked just like this. And that's what the UV lights did to it as far as changing it out. I'm not sure if you can actually see the cracks in that or not. I'll just try and bring a few up. You can see there, and there's numerous ones here. But it's pretty amazing what the lights did to it, for sure. I really don't think it's common at all that happens, but there's a first for everything, and I've seen it firsthand. A little something I'm going to do is my buddy Fritz, he picked up a fitting when he went to Home Depot, and these are push fittings. Very simple. This is a piece of 3/8 tubing. They work similar to shark bite. It's just a matter of pushing them in. Once you push them in, there's an O-ring in there, and there's 6 teeth inside there that actually grip onto the pipe itself. It's just a matter to release it. It's just a matter of pushing it in, just like a shark bite, and it pulls out. I'm not a great fan of them, but they do work. There's certain situations where you actually have to use them, but I try and stay away from them as much as I can. One thing that some of the fittings do have is a retaining ring in here that prevents this sleeve from going back into the fitting and therefore allowing the pipe to pull out. So they work it's very simple. Just a matter of pressing that in, pulling it out, and away you go. Anyway, that's all for now. Do yourself a favor, if you're installing PEX, pick yourself up a cheap set of cutters. I have numerous pairs, pair of Lennox there, set of Lennox there. These lower grade will work great for you, and you'll have no problems whatsoever. It's much easier to use the cutters. They make a nice square cut, and that's what you're after. Anyway, everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you later.